Hey, staffingpreneurs. I should get my IG up and going. I'm just checking to see how you all are doing. I am checking in on you. Hey, what's going on in your world? My name is Dee Williams. If this is your first time here, I show professionals just like you how to start and set up and scale your very own niche recruitment and staffing business. Hey, T. And I'm just here really to check in on everybody to see how you all are doing. Hey, Christina. See how y'all doing today. We have a lot of exciting things going on in the world right now. We've got PPE loans, we've got stimulus checks, we've got tax refunds. We've got all types of stuff going on in the world today. And I want to make sure that everyone is preparing, is utilizing and putting that money back, hey, Abby, back into the economy in a way that's going to not just help you now, but helping you in the future. Hey, Tiffany. Right. So I'm just checking in. What's going on with y'all business? How y'all feeling? What do you mean you're not doing? What does that mean? How y'all doing in y'all business? What's happening in your business? Are you growing? Are you building? Are you scaling? Are you setting up? Like, what's your phase? Where are you at in your business? What are you doing? I don't have a lot of time today. I haven't been asleep hardcore. Y'all know I work so hard. Hey, Tiffany Cameron. I got two Tiffany's on the line. What's going on with y'all business? How y'all feeling? What's happening with y'all staffing business? I don't know where y'all from, but tell me. Because I can tell you, I'm so fired up today. I'm working with a couple of staffingpreneurs who are working on some really big contracts that are happening right now. And it's just so exciting. T, if you are struggling to get clients, then something is wrong with your execution strategy. What's your execution strategy? What type of execution? What's your plan of action? How do you define your sales goals and your recruiting goal? If you're having issues with clients, then that is 100%. It has to do with your execution strategy, which you should have created during the setup of your business. So talk to me about it, T. What's your strategy like? We got a lot of Baltimore people. Y'all know I'm from Baltimore. I don't know if y'all know that. I was born in Baltimore. I didn't know all of you were in Bmore. I was actually born in Baltimore. Okay, so Abby said, I sent my email for my call. When do you think I will get my call? Abby, you're on the calendar. I just sent you a text message. What are you saying? You're scheduled for Monday. So I don't know. What are you saying? You're already on the calendar. And then I'm stuck wondering how to maneuver Crelate. Yeah. So first of all, Crelate is very simple. It's not overly crazy if you already have a process. Okay. So people are, if you do not have your process. So I'm going to just tell you, if you haven't gone through my setup course, you're going to be lost. Okay. That's number one, especially with Crelate. Number two, if you have a process, then you shouldn't be lost at all, because Crelate mirrors the process of how to sell, and it mirrors the process on how to recruit. So Crelate is should be based on your process. Other than that, all the functionality, they literally have tons and tons of training videos, and I'll do a live video on Crelate, but I promise you it shouldn't be anything that is overwhelming. Abby says, a good question. Other than Career Builder, what can I use? Well, who are you recruiting for? So that depends on the type of people that you're recruiting for. Career Builder isn't for every role. It's only for specific roles, I'm sure, right? That's a generalist job board. You should know where your market is, and you should only be posting and only be searching, for the most part, where your market is. So you figure out what your market is when you do your niche overview worksheet, where you start flushing out your niche so that you can create your execution strategy. So that goes back to T. If you have to have an execution strategy, and yours is cold calling and cold emailing, that's why you ain't getting no responses. And so, T, I got to ask you a different question. Hey, blessings. I got to ask you a different question. Are you selling staffing, or are you selling the solution? Because that can also be the issue as well, right? If you're selling staffing, you're going to get crickets most of the time. If you're selling the solution, then you're going to have high level conversations. So you can pull nurses off of Career Builder, but that's not where nurses hang out. Where do your nurses hang out? You have to define where your nurses hang out. Where do they hang out at? Like, it doesn't sound like you have fully flushed out your niche market. You got to flush out your niche market in order to create. So like, T, do you have your market flushed out fully? Because if you did, I don't know that you would choose to just do cold call and cold email. Is your market flushed out? What's your niche, T? Tell me what your niche is. Where do I find the candidates to add to Crelate? You have to go and put them into your ATS. They don't automatically show up into your applicant tracking system. Your ATS is the shell. So that is the shell. Okay. So so let me step back. For people who are brand new, right? When you're starting a recruitment and staffing business, just like you would go into a restaurant, they don't use paper tickets anymore, right? You go to McDonald's, you take your order. If you go into a restaurant, they give you a little pad, or they got a little pad, they take your order. And even if they're writing it on a pad, they take your order and then they put it into a system, right? They put it into the system, and then the cook in the back gets it and all of that stuff out, right? So your applicant tracking system is the same way. It is the core technology in your business, but it comes blank. It comes blank and it comes empty. Okay. So because it comes blank and comes empty, you have to populate it. Now, if you're in my class, I already have a setup that's already populated for you from the perspective of the process. Okay. The back end process. But it is still your job to actually start recruiting. You have to recruit. So you have to find your talent through the job boards. You have to find your talent through social media. You find your talent through job postings. You find your talent through networking. You find your talent, like, you have to recruit. You've got to source. Not necessarily recruit, but you've got to source and attract talent. And then you get them into your applicant tracking system at that point. But it starts with you having a strategy. So same thing with T, Abby. So T is talking about sales. Abby, you're talking about candidates. Who are your candidates? If they're nurses, where do they hang out? Where do these nurses hang out? Do they hang out on specific nurse job boards? Do they hang out in specific Facebook groups? Do they hang out in specific LinkedIn groups? Where do these nurses hang out? Wherever they hang out, then you post your role, your pipelining role, and then hold on, Abby, because then you didn't flush your market out fully. If you don't know the answer to the question, then you didn't fully flush it out, babe. Because when you flush it out, those answers become available to you. When you flush your market out, flushing your market out means that you understand everything there is to know about your market, who exactly you're going after in regards to your hiring managers, who exactly you're going after in regards to your candidates, how many hiring managers, how many candidates, what industry they're working in, what type of companies want to hire them, how many hiring managers are there, how many candidates are there, and what cities and what states, where do they hang? Like, all of these things, it's like you have to know your market. You can't start, and this is not to Abby in particular, so I don't want you to think, Abby, I'm picking on you, because I'm not, because you're not alone. But you can't start a staffing business or any business, not just a staffing, any business, without having your market fully flushed out, which is why, T, you are having the challenge that you're having. You have no direction. You have no strategy. You don't know your market because you don't have a real market. You're just anyone. So you've got to narrow your focus down. You're only one person. You don't want to just go and grab anything and everything. That wouldn't make sense. And I want you to treat this business the way you would treat yourself if you were dating or if you were purchasing something for yourself. If you were like I know you have standards around your cars or around what you wear or around what perfume you put on or what color you put on your nails or what type of home you live in. You have standards around that. So you have to have standards about the type of people that you want to do business with, about the people that you want to go after. If you're a small company, a 1 or 2 man firm, you don't have the luxury of trying to tap into every market that's out there. You will never get anywhere. And if a coach ever tells you to do that, run far. Okay. If you're 1 person or 2 people or 3 people, 4 people, 5 people, you want to narrow it down to one particular sector. Hey, Renee, you want to narrow it down to one particular segment and work the hell out of that segment and make your money there. And then over time, you will gradually expand. You'll gradually expand into other markets. It'll happen organically, but you don't start out trying to take the whole market. You know this. I've been preaching this for years, Pooh. You already know. So if you focus on everything, you're going to get that. You wouldn't just randomly date some random guy just because he came over and talked to you. So any guy, what if the homeless guy on the corner came up and talked to you? Hey, T, what's up? You're going to be like, hey, boo, what's up? No, you're going to be like, boy, please get on out of here somewhere. Right? So you have to have standards about the clients that you want to work with and that you want to do business with. That's really, really, really important. $9.97 for the setup. And it's on sale right now, I think for $5.50. It's on sale right now at a recruitmentstore.com. So you can definitely go there. I'll put the link in here in a second. But it's definitely on sale only until tomorrow, I think. And then the sale goes away. But flushing out your niche market. So let's go back because I actually want to talk a little bit like Abby. She asked me, if I don't know, I don't know. That's why I took the course to learn. I did flush my market, and just full love, Abby. When you flushed your niche market out, can you tell me, and I know we're on text, but can you tell me when you flushed your niche market out, what did you learn about your market differently than you didn't know before? And when you flushed your niche market out, did you begin to create your strategies at that point? Because the way my course is written out, everything is literally in sequential order. So you can't get to I'm already up and launched without flushing your market out and creating your execution strategies. Like they have to happen before you can ever go, before you can ever get out into the world, right? So I want to make sure that you actually are going through the course in sequential order so that you can get the full benefit, because the course actually builds on top of each other. It just keeps building on top of each other to make sure that you're covering every piece of the business and that you're not missing anything. Okay. So really, really important. But you can ask me any questions you want, because I actually came on here to answer any questions and to see how you all were doing. So while I'm here, I'm going to take T's question and Abby's question a step further, because I'm feeling really good before I go and take my nap for the evening. So T, stick around. I'm going to start with Abby because she asked the real question. So in regards to putting candidates into your ATS, you have to create candidate execution strategies just like you would create client execution strategies or employer execution strategies. All right. Hey, Ella, how are you? Hey, Dre, how are you? I'll answer your question in a second. Dre, stick around. Okay. So how do I get candidates in? When you are flushing out your niche market, okay? When you're flushing out your niche market, and you're finding out about your market, how big your market is, where they're most highly populated, who are the employers you should be going after, who are the candidates you should be going after, what type of companies you're going after, what industries you're focusing on, all of that stuff, where your candidates located, what podcasts do they listen to, what magazines do they listen to, what job boards are they on, what social media sites are they on. You're flushing it out. Flushing. So effing fly. Love you, Pooh. Hey. So you're flushing everything out, right? Once you start flushing everything out, now you're going to sit back and say, okay, I've got two markets. I've got a candidate market and a client market. Now that I have full understanding of my candidate market and my client market, it's time to create strategies so that I don't launch my business and then I'm roaming around trying to figure out what to do next. So let's start with your candidate strategy. You get your candidates in your ATS by defining where they're located. So first of all, everybody knows that LinkedIn should be your number one location, right? If you are in the professional solution space. If you're in the commercial space, maybe not, right? But LinkedIn is a professional social network where people go to find jobs and to level up in their career. So LinkedIn would be one of the places that you would go. That would require you typically to either post a job on LinkedIn, either through their job posting section. Maybe you're posting a job through the group section, or maybe you're doing a search. Either way, in order for this business to actually start to move, you actually have to start reaching out to people. Okay. So you've got to start thinking, okay, if I'm placing nurses, where are nurses hanging out? So you should know already how many nurses are on LinkedIn if you flushed your market out. We're not talking about clients. We're only talking about candidates, because you asked me, how do I get candidates in my ATS? So we're not talking about clients. We're only talking about candidates. So you should know how many candidates are in your ecosystem and your niche space based on your niche flush out. The question is, out of all of those candidates, are they all in the same role? Are they all at the same level? Are they all in the same industries? Like, these are the questions that I would be asking if I was to create an actual strategy for getting candidates into my system, and candidates that I actually want and need, that would be great to hire. Once I start to ask those questions, I may go in and flush my market out even more and break them up in groups. There are 3,000 nurses that work for hospitals in the New York area. I'm making it up, right? There are 6,000 LPNs in New York that work for nursing homes. And there are 2,000 blah, 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 blah. Once I have now segmented them out, now I can have specific conversations with those specific groups that are specific to them. And then I can drive that traffic into my applicant tracking system, right? So that's how you get candidates into your ATS. You start first with the strategy. Okay, my strategy is I'm going to post some pipeline jobs, and I am going to, for this particular group, I'm going to send out a mass email campaign. For this particular group, I'm actually going to send out postcards. And for this particular group, I'm actually going to pick up the phone and dial, right? Or I'm going to do Facebook groups. So whatever your strategy is, that would be your phase one. What happens when they don't respond back? That's your second strategy, your phase two. What happens when they respond back and it's not what you want? That's your third stage, phase three. But like, whatever you want that to be, you want to come up with a strategy, right? You want to have a strategy on how you're going to connect. Now, for some of you, it may be a little bit different. Maybe you are driving ads to a specific job, a pipeline job. So you're driving YouTube ads, Facebook ads, LinkedIn ads, Twitter ads, IG ads, LinkedIn ads, all to your job posting. Maybe that's how you're getting your candidates into your ATS. I don't know. You're going to have to tell me. Okay. So that may be it. Maybe you're having a job fair, a virtual job fair. Maybe that's how you're getting candidates into your ATS. Maybe you have a referral network. Maybe that's how you're getting your candidates into your ATS. Maybe it's an email marketing campaign. Maybe that's how you're getting candidates into your. What's your strategy? You have to sit down as the CEO. Listen, let me tell y'all something. I'm going to tell y'all something. Many of you all are not entrepreneurs or not real ones. Or let me say this. You haven't walked into the realization of your real entrepreneurship. Many of you are focused or I would just say are employees transitioning over. So you're not looking at this from the right perspective. You are the CEO of your company. As an employee, you don't have to think about strategy. All you have to do is do what the boss tells you to do. When you're working for somebody else, you don't think about anything except for the task that is given to you. But when you're a CEO, you are responsible for the strategic direction of your organization. You're responsible for the organizational design, how your business is going to function. You're responsible for these things. You're responsible for creating strategy so that the company, because everybody who works for you has to follow your vision. You're getting paid the big bucks and you've got the title of CEO because you create the strategy. Okay. So you have to have a strategy before you launch your business based on your market and your market size. Okay. Okay. Hold on to that question. I'll answer that in a second. All right. So that's the candidate side. And that's just getting them into your ATS. Getting them into your ATS is totally different from actually getting them to talk to you and getting them to give you the information that you need so that you can actually get them placed. Though that goes further down the road. That's just to get them into your ATS. That's because I love Abby and I wanted to show her some extra special love. So now I'm going to actually show T some love on the sales and business development side. But before I do that, someone is asking me, and I can't see the name, I apologize, but they're asking me, what if the applicant doesn't want to sign the right to represent agreement, or they would not honor the agreement? Then that means you haven't presented the agreement properly. Because if you present the agreement properly, then they will always sign it. So when you're presenting your right to represent, you have to let them know that they are giving you permission to submit them to that specific job, and that they have not already applied to that specific job. And all you need them to do is to send an email back saying, I'm confirmed. That's it. If they're not willing to do that, then you're not interested in working with them, because that means that they're not being truthful or honest about something. Or that means that they're not interested. They're not totally sold into the relationship of working with you. So if you're running a staffing business and you're super transactional, you're hurting yourself. You need to have relationships with these people, because that's how you create the commitment. That's how you create the commitment. Okay. So if they're not honoring that agreement, is how you're presenting it. Now, when I present a right to represent, I simply say something just like this. Hey, great. I'm really excited about submitting you for this role. I'm so fired up. So listen, I'm going to send you a quick email. We call it a right to represent, but I'm going to send you a quick email. And it just basically states that you have not already applied to this role already, and that you give me permission to send you your resume over to the hiring manager. All I need you to do is respond back, agreed, and that'll be great. And before you respond to this request, can you make sure you add your references on there? I won't call them until I let you know, but if we can go ahead and get that out the way, that'll be great. And they 100% of the time say, okay, yeah, sure. 100% of the time. I've never had anyone say, no, I won't sign it. And it's not something that they sign per se. It's just an email that you send over and they respond back, agree. So when you make it into a form, it makes it very intimidating. It should just be in the body of your email and then just send it over. Okay. You're welcome. You're welcome. 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 I love y'all. Okay. So now I'm going to go back and I'm going to pick with T for a little bit, and then I'll answer Dre's question. And then and so forth. If y'all love the information I'm giving you and you're watching me on YouTube, give me some hearts, please, so I can keep coming back. If you're on Facebook, give me some hearts, please, because you know I love you. Okay, so let's talk about T. T says, D, I am having challenges landing clients. Can you put a 1 in the box if you can relate to T and you also are concerned about getting clients, or you are also concerned, or you're also in a position where you're having a hard time getting clients? I just want to see if it's just T or if it's more than her. So if you are experiencing the same thing, let me know. Okay. Abby said to me here, she said, I've got a list of clients' emails. I also have LinkedIn Sales Navigator. Okay. So that's her answer to that's what she has so far. Not necessarily her answer, but what she has so far. Okay. T mentioned to me that she has, she said, D, I'm not focused on any particular area yet. I've been reaching out to all industries. Okay. So let's talk about clients. Let's talk about going in and that strategy. So some of you are going to be very upset with me with what I'm about to say to you. Some of you are going to be really upset. I'm going to tell you this. If you are having problems getting clients, it's simply because you have not fleshed out your niche market properly. So it's hard. What I would say is I'm going to do the same thing I did with Abby, but I'm going to tell you right now, it's all about your niche market. Okay. It's all about your niche market. When you flush out your market, then you get to understand your landscape, how many people you have the ability to connect with, what type of industries they're in, for the space that, or types of companies within the industry that you're in, how many they are, where they're located, and what they are, what's important to them. So I mentioned before, a rookie move is sell. In my opinion, there's a time to sell staffing and there's a time not to sell staffing. Most newbies go in immediately and sell staffing, not realizing when that employer is on the other line, they're getting 1,000 calls a day selling staffing. Most companies, if they're not in an immediate need right now, you calling them about your staffing agency is not a priority to them, and they're not going to actually be interested in talking to you. So the only time you should sell staffing is when you know that they have a massive need. That is not when you sell staffing. Okay. You only sell staffing. You sell the solutions. That should be your core. So you should have more than one strategy going on at one time, right? So you've got to have more than one strategy. You have 6 ways to sell. You could sell in person. You could sell over the phone. You could sell over email. You can sell online. You could sell mobilely. You can sell through referrals. That's it. So you have to choose your strategies out of those 6 buckets, whatever those strategies there are that make sense to you and for your particular market. How you sell to the healthcare space is going to be a little bit different than how you sell to the IT cybersecurity space, which is going to be a little bit different than how you sell to the light industrial space, right? So T, you've got to pick an industry that you want to focus on first. You're no good to anyone if you're all over the place. That means that you're not able to provide speed, which means that you've lost the value from that perspective. You're unable to provide quality. So you lost the value from that perspective, because if you don't have a specific niche, you can't have quality. If you don't have a specific niche, it's going to be very hard to offer speed. So it's like you don't have anything tangible to say, this is what sets me apart from other staffing agencies. So it's important that we start with that strategy. Once we've chosen 3 strategies, and those strategies could be anything. It could be email marketing. You can have one strategy going in the background where you have email marketing going, where you're selling staffing, and then you've got your target list going with your target 100, and you're focusing on figuring out what the actual problem is and why they would want to hire these particular people from the beginning, and selling the solution versus selling staffing on that end. You might create, one strategy might be an event, a virtual event. It might be a webinar. It might be, a convention. It might be a partnership with someone. It might be a mobile app. It might be a lead magnet. It might be. Oh my gosh, there are a bazillion strategies out there. But if you want to get clients, you have to have a strategy. And I'm going to tell you, simply cold calling is not going to work. That's not to T. That's for everybody. If your strategy is simply cold calling and cold emailing, then I don't know what to tell you. Like, you're going to get your peers are going to beat you out quickly. Your peers are going to whip your tail in this business. But if your strategy is, hey, I want to go and find all the supplier diversity people so that I can get to know them, build a relationship with them, and they will know, they will know me. And when the next opportunity for a diverse organization to come in is open, they're going to choose me, right? It could be that, right? It could be that 100%. It could be, I don't know what your strategy is. Maybe like when I think, so let me show y'all this. Let me show y'all this, because you got to step out your box. Let me see. Hold on. Don't run. Don't go nowhere. All right. Like, this is something that I share with my clients, right? You got to step out your box. There's this book. I love this guy. He's got about 2 or 3 books. His name is Stu Heineck. I definitely want to get him on to the podcast, on the Staffing Startup.TV podcast, but get the meeting. And I was showing one of my other clients this. They do really cool things like sending clients a little walkie-talkie. You have to have strategy. And then when the client gets the walkie-talkie, then you have something there. Let me just see. It's a whole lot of different things here. Let me just show you. These are just strategies. You've got to come up with your own strategy that would make sense for you and your particular client. This guy created a custom YouTube video in the box for the client. What are you doing? How are you setting yourself apart? Why would the client talk to you versus talking to the other staffing agency who's actually taking time to create a strategy and to get in the door with them? Why would they choose you over them if all you're doing is cold calling? They don't need your cold call. I say that with love. I'm going to show you another one. Because he did a whole bunch of them. This is a good book. I've got all his books, actually. Then here they did a letter. Look at that, where they said the future, and they did a handwritten or a typed letter. That one's another one. I mean, there are so many different things you can do to get, a hiring manager's attention. It's all about the research that you do. It's all about, your market strategy. I will tell you that you should have two types of sales strategy going on. One for what we call the general population, and one for what we call the your target 100. Hey, Emma from Scotland, right? And your target 100, I do stuff like this. My general population, cold call, email, whatever. But my target, they're going to get something special. They're going to get books. They're going to get, I might research and see what they like and get, gifts, or I don't know, whatever my strategy is, but I'm going to be very deliberate about it. If I heard that a company just got $10 million in funding, then I may take time to actually research and find out what they're going to do with the funding. And then maybe, find a very strategic way of getting in the door with the person who makes the decisions. So my question to you, T, and to everyone on this call who put a 1 out and they said that they were trying to get clients, my question to you is, do you have a real strategy based on your target market? Put a 1 in the box if the answer is yes. Put a 2 in the box if you've got work to do. And be honest with yourself. Hey, Patrick from Canada. Put a 1 in the box if you're using actual strategies. Put a 2 in the box if you've got work to do. Don't be shy. And it's okay if you have work to do. That's what this call is about. It's about you actually sitting back and looking at your business and saying, okay, I think I understand why I don't have clients right now. I've got to put a little bit more work in. I need to sit back and go to the table and to start literally thinking about what my strategy is going to be. And I'm going to tell you right now, it needs to start off with your niche. You have to niche first, unless you have 25, 30 people on your team. If you don't have 25, 30 people on your team, you've got a niche or niche, however you want to say it. Donya from Algeria, love you so much. Okay, so that's really, really, really important. So when we go through my class, I teach this whole thing through the setup. I teach the niche overview worksheet. Flush your niche out. After you flush your niche out, then I tell you, all right, now it's time to think about your strategies. What's going to be your strategy on the candidate side? What's going to be your strategy on the client side? Once you define what your strategy is, then you can start thinking about two things. One, process. Two, your business model. But that's a whole different that's a whole different live. I won't that's a high level conversation for when you get into the scale up class. But at the bare minimum, you're now going to be able to see your market a little bit differently, and you can start deciding, okay, how much money do I have to invest in at least my target 100? And then if I'm not investing financially like that into my general population, what's going to be my strategy for reaching out? I would be obsessive about learning about the problems that your clients are having. I'm talking massively obsessive. Even asking your candidates, I would be massively obsessive about finding out what the challenge is with your clients. Because once you all figure out what your challenges are, you'll be able to use those challenges as leverage to start conversations and get those open those doors. So you've got to be very, again, strategic. You are CEOs. You are no longer employee staffingpreneurs. You can't just sit back and wait for somebody else to define your business strategy. You are the boss now. You are the boss now. So you have to define the strategic direction of your organization. Okay, Quentin, he says, I don't have 20 or 30 people on my team. I'm struggling with how to find a niche. How do I determine it? Well, you determine it in three ways. It's either something you're super passionate about that you just like gung-ho can't live without. It's something that you already know very intimately right now, like if you're an accountant, right? Or you're an IT developer or project manager. So it might be a skill set that you currently carry, that you have. And then at the bare minimum, it could be an industry where you have a large network, meaning you know a lot of people in that industry. So if I were you, I would focus first on the industry where I know a lot of people. That would be my core niche. Because if that's the case, it'll be easy for you to get clients and candidates very easy, right off your name. But if it's your knowledge, then that's the second best. And then the third best is what you're passionate about. And if you can do 2 out of 3, you're looking good. Like maybe you know it and you have a large network in it. That's ultimately, and you're passionate about it, that would be your core niche. So you want to be in that space. Can I have 3 niches? I have knowledge in 3 sectors. I probably would not if you're a one-person firm. The idea to starting out with the niche is not to take over the market initially. In any way, you only need 1% of market share to even be impacted in a major way. It is not to do that. Don't think like that. You can take on 2 of the other niches later on. Right now, focus on 1. Become a thought leader in that one area. I guarantee you, if you do a great job, companies will ask you to fill a million other roles. But you're trying to get into a starting point. You have to get to a starting point first. And if you don't niche, then you can't get to a starting point. It's like you're just trying to clam on and catch anything you can. Like, no, we don't want to do that. We want to focus. Okay. So I'm going to pick with Dre because she just said project manager. If her niche is project managers, then what companies need? Well, so first I would say, well, what type of project managers? IT. And once I figure out if it's IT or healthcare or whatever, is it functional? Is it technical? Is it technical functional? Right. So those are what I want to know first. Then I would look for companies who need to find those people. And then I would look, why do they need to find these people? What are the challenges? Then I would go look for the why. Okay. And then I would focus on that particular area. And I would stay in that area until I have rocked it out to the point where everybody in the world knows me for that thing. Now, each and every one of you know me for staffing. Y'all know me for staffing. I am in a niche space. My niche is staffing, right? Now, I do other things. I actually work with brick and mortars every day. I work with cannabis businesses every day. I am an e-learning instructor. I'm a tech startup founder. I produce every piece of music that you all hear for the most part on my YouTube channel. I have produced it right there on this computer right here, right? So I do a lot of things, but I focus on one thing at a time. And for me, I started out focusing on staffing only. I don't tell y'all, let me show y'all how to produce music. Let me show you. No, I focus on staffing. Me focusing on staffing, people started coming to me and saying, hey, D, I'm not interested in the staffing business, but I have a brick and mortar. Can you help me do the same thing with my business with that you do with the staffing agencies? Yeah, sure. Am I still known for staffing? 100%. I'm a thought leader in this space. If anything goes down, trust, I know about it or they're calling me. But does that mean that I don't touch other areas? Of course I do. That's just not what I put on Front Street. That's not my main brand. My main brand is staffing. Now, this year coming out, next year, I am stretching my brand out, but I have laid my foundation for years, 25 years. I've been in staffing. I've laid my foundation. Now I have earned the right to be able to talk about the cannabis space. I've earned the right to talk about my music. I've earned the right, and my people will follow because I've earned that right. So when you're starting, hey, Io, when you're starting your business, you don't need to take over everything. You want to become a thought leader in a space where people can say, I know Io does creative. I know Dre does project managers. When I need a PM, I can call Dre. And if you're good at what you do, then people call you about other things. Oh, I need an IT manager. I need this, and you will do it and your business will organically grow. I hope that was helpful. Quentin, because Quentin asked this question. I hope that was helpful, Quentin. Let me know, okay? Or Danya, she asked me about 3 niches, okay? Asked me, how do I determine in 3 niches, okay? I have my niche, but I definitely still need help for real. I'm here. So we're going to talk about the course in a second. So T says, I have a possible trucking client and I have people who are qualified, but they said they don't use staffing agencies. My father works for them and has a great relationship with the owner, so I'm trying to get through him. Okay, that's great, but what else are you doing in the process? Because if they don't use agencies, and is this a good use of your time? Like, how much time are you putting in there? Like, you should be sending out messages and talking to hundreds of people a day, because it may take him, he may not decide to use a staffing agency for 5 years from now when it makes sense. Okay. So you have to be reaching out to people every day, talking to candidates, talking to clients, asking questions, but don't stay in one space and wait. If your father's working on that, great. Let him work on that. If you want to kind of push it along, you can ask questions like, I'm giving y'all way too much information for this call. I'm about to end this call. I'm over here going ham on a live call. Oh my God. But I gotta go to sleep, man. But you gotta ask questions, that are going to really help you to understand, like, how much the client really understands the value of you using a staffing agency. Like, how much are you paying for your drivers? What's your loss? Just different things like that. So I'm not going to go into detail. I feel like I'm giving away way too much, and it's going to come to you like in blotches. It's not going to make sense until you understand the whole picture. So and so look at Abby. She's so wonderful. Dre says, I'm a project manager and using the PM model to find the solution for my clients. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Okay, Dre said, my niche is medical, but I work as a PM full time. Does that make sense? I think that's the question. Like, a lot of people go into the medical field because it is one of the most lucrative fields, but I'm going to tell you, nurses are not easy. Healthcare is not an easy niche. And I know that because I work with a ton of nurses. It is not an easy niche. You should be focusing on a niche in an area that or that a lot of people in, because you want to be able to talk the talk. Unless you're ready to go in and go back to school and do some additional learning, you want to be able to know the jargon. You want them to feel comfortable in knowing you can help them. You see what I'm saying? So I would just be very careful about how you're playing your niche. Like, don't think that don't go into a niche just to go. Okay, you're a health admin. Okay, well, then there you go. A health admin, though, is not clinical. That's non-clinical. So that's a different space. Non-clinical is a different space, but that's good. Let me just see. She's so funny. She said, never mind about too much info. So I hope that was helpful. Dre is all over it. I love it. T is all over it. I love it. Love it. Love it. L, she knows. She see. I done given all the juice out. Hilarious. Donya said, how many candidates should I have in my pool before? I would say a minimum of 50, and that's still not enough. A minimum of 50, and that's still not enough. Okay? A minimum of 50, and that's still not enough. Yeah, Quentin, bring your questions to the setup call that happens every Tuesday at 12 p.m. when you take my setup class. Because if you come there, you'll have so much more clarity. And then you won't have to wait for me to come on here live, because I don't come on here live often. I'm busy. I'm building. I have a done for you client. I'm building somebody's staffing agency. I'm hiring. I've got my own stuff going. Like, I don't come on here live. So I show up, though, to all my paid classes faithfully with bells on, screaming, going crazy. That's where you get all the good questions answered. You don't want to wait for me to come on here live, because I'm not on here live enough for you to get anything out of it. I will be holding you back if you wait. I will be holding you back, and I don't want to hold you back. Okay? I don't want to. Thank you. Look, see? Tiffany, here it is. Tiffany said the classes are awesome. Thank you, Tiffany. I appreciate you for that. It is Tuesdays at 12 noon. Are you in my setup class? Because you got to be in my setup class in order to attend. I post them in the Facebook group, Blessing. They're always in the Facebook group. So you just got to go in the Facebook group and type in setup call, and they're there. It's 7 weeks, but it's however little long that it takes you. It takes you 2 days to watch the videos. The videos are 22 hours. So it takes you about 2 days, and then it takes you about 7 weeks to actually execute everything that you've learned in the video. Okay. It takes some extra weeks. It's going to take about 7 weeks to really set it up at a minimum. If you're really taking your time with your business and you're trying to figure out exactly how you want to do it, for some people, it takes months. Right? It just depends on your speed. It depends on your speed. Okay? It depends on your speed. All right, Quentin, that means you got to get in my class. All right, I put a link in here for you. You got to get in my class so you can get don't do this on your own. That's my biggest challenge with people. That's why I come on these calls every now and then. I don't want you doing it on your own. If you're not investing in a class, and it doesn't have to be my class. It doesn't have to be my class. But if you're not investing in a coach, I promise you, and you're starting a staffing business, you are hurting yourself more than you're helping yourself. You're going to waste so much money. You're going to waste so much money. I'm telling you, you've got to get in somebody's class. If I'm not for you, because I'm loud. I cover the whole office. I'm crazy. I'm screaming. If you screw up, I'm going to tell you, and then I'm going to tell you how to fix it. I'm very authentic from the perspective that I don't cut any cards. I'm going to love on you hard, but I'm also going to let you know if you're doing something wrong so that you can go in and fix it. Okay. And so that you won't ever do it again. So, yeah, you got to take somebody's class. You don't have to have your LLC purchase first, because I give you step by step on everything. As a matter of fact, I don't even have you purchase your LLC until step 6 in the course. There are so many things that you should do before you ever get your LLC. It's crazy. Like, you really need to do specific things before you go out and legalize the business, so you can make sure you're setting up you're legalizing the right type of business, and it's in the right location, like near your clients and near your candidates, or whatever the case may be. Okay, so that's kind of how that goes. Quentin, it's not a Facebook group. It's that link I just put in the box. You have to actually click on that link and join, and then you get access to everything at that point. Okay. And we do meet every Tuesday at 12 noon, and we are fired up every Tuesday at 12 noon. I mean, every Tuesday at 12 noon. It's serious business. My mother and aunties are in. Honey, you need to have way more than mamas and aunties. You need to have like hundreds of people. Okay. Hundreds. P. Hey, P. I've worked in call centers for many years. I'm thinking about staffing for call centers. Is that too broad? Do I need to niche down like banking, customer service, sales, and healthcare? Yeah, I would definitely niche down, but I would also say that you should use call centers as a starting point. I mean, like AI is going to take over call centers very shortly. So call centers won't be around long. And not only are we competing with AI, we're also competing with foreigners. So and then we're also competing with people like Arise, right? I see a lot of those call centers shifting over into kind of like chat bots. They're now chat bots, customer success managers. Like call centers have changed. And they are forever changing. So just keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. But if you're going to do call centers, I say you probably have 5 to 10 years left before call centers become an extinct way of how we live in society, right? I believe they're going to probably go away. But this is a starting point to get your feet wet in the staffing industry and then to figure out how you can move into a different space at that point. But I would niche down for sure. And I would do some research. What type of call centers are the most, healthiest or wealthiest? I would also encourage you to think about, instead of staffing for call centers, starting out, maybe staff for the management of those call centers. Because if you staff the managers, then you would ultimately have the ability to potentially get the contracts underneath it to make it easier for you to get the sale. So that's what I'm talking about in regards to strategy, just being strategic about the way you're thinking about things and how you're going about things. There's a roadmap, and you really want to think about that map and how it relates to your business model. I've been in the healthcare field for so long, and that's my niche. Work it then, girl. Work it, work it, work it. Healthcare IT has a ton of project managers in that space. Just figure out what your sweet spot is, right? Figure out what your sweet spot is, okay? Dre said, it's crazy, want to niche according to the need in your area. Yeah, I mean, you can niche according to the need in your area, but is that a long term though? Because I've got clients, like I've got a client right now, she lives in Missouri. She don't staff anywhere near Missouri at all. Like almost all her clients are in Delaware or in Texas. You don't have to staff in your local area. You don't have to staff based on what's in your, like, for example, I see a lot of staffingpreneurs, especially in that free group, that's start a staffing biz group, that just automatically decide they're going to start a staffing business and immediately say, I'm going to place warehouse and warehouse people, light industrial people, because that's what's in my area. Who said you had to recruit in your area? Those are the lowest level positions there are. You have to place hundreds of them in order to make millions. Why would you start at the bottom? Why would you start at the very bottom? Especially if you're a sharp individual, why would you start there? Like so I'm just throwing it out there. It's a thought process, but I'm just throwing it out there for you all. You don't necessarily have to staff in your area. I've got another lady in the academy. I think she does over 10 million a year, direct hire only. And I promise you, she don't staff anywhere in Georgia at all. New York Stock Exchange, she's all over the country. She don't staff in Georgia. You do not have to staff in your location, okay? Is staffing for strictly WK work from companies a thing? I have a list of 100 different companies that offer work from home positions. So staffing is, and I just have a video that's coming out about this, but staffing is when somebody is on your payroll. Staffing is when a person is on your payroll. That is what staffing is. Okay. So work from home is not I don't want to say it's not a niche, but it's not a niche. That is just the method in which the person is working. That doesn't represent the work that they're doing. They're actually doing something. So you can be in the IT space and working from home. You can be in the sales space and work from home. It can be a work from job home. You can be customer service and work from home. Work from home is not a niche. It is the way you are actually delivering the work. A niche is what type of roles for what type of industry are you supporting. That's totally different. Okay. I'm thankful for you too. Information about the training, send you LinkedIn Connect. Yep, you can send me a LinkedIn Connect and I will paste again. I'm going to paste there the link for you to go in. We have a sale. It's only 2 days left. The cost of the course is $997. It's on sale right now for $550 until Tuesday, I think. So I would say take advantage of that if you can. Danya said, and then we got about 5 minutes, so get your questions in. Can I be successful doing recruitment online without meeting clients and candidates in person? Health issues, reasons? You can, but how much of a relationship can you build with somebody if you're not willing to? Well, let me say this. That's because that's not a very valid response. Let me say this. You can recruit online without meeting your clients and candidates in person. But I'm going to tell you, the less physical interaction you have with a person, the less likely you're building a strong strong relationship, right? If you're online, that relationship can only go but so far online before you're ready to meet in person. So you can start it out. And I'm also going to tell you that if you're going to do it that way, you want to make sure that you have a real relationship with the client, because if you don't, they're not going to take you seriously because they don't really have a interaction with you. Do you see what I'm saying? So I think in a time of COVID, it can be more acceptable, but you should be Zooming your life away or Teams your life away. So yeah, from that perspective, sure. From the perspective of just doing things virtually just to be doing them, I would say no, don't do that. Like, you want to get to know these people, because the more you get to know them, the more they'll keep coming back. Like, I would never submit a candidate to a client without actually seeing them first, feeling their energy, but I do see people who do it all day, every day. And that's so scary. Can you imagine hiring a staffing agency and paying a staffing agency 10, 20, 30, 40 thousands of dollars, and they never even saw the candidate that they submitted to you? Man, I would be pissed if someone did that to me. So you want to treat people the way you want to be treated as well, right? You want to work with candidates the way you see things as well. All right. Is training online or in person? More, these people try to get to my office as much as possible. The last 2 weeks, I've had people in my office. I do not do in-office training, although I have been holding little mini boot camps with my private clients, with my one-on-one clients. But the training is online. It's online. And then I do a complimentary live call to answer any questions you all have every week. So training is online, but I do a lot of in-person training. Oh man. And, I have a lot of people who are like, D, can I just pay to come to your office and just sit and, so I sometimes allow that as well. It depends on who it is and what type of relationship that I have with them. Dre, if you are questioning your niche, then you're in a good space. You're in a good space, because you should be questioning your niche. You want to make sure that you're building this business around something that you have the ability to execute, and that you're going to be passionate about executing. That's important. Okay. P says, I purchased the course yesterday. I'm excited to get started and share my success story. And P, if you purchased it yesterday, then you get a complimentary 30 minutes with me. So anybody who purchased the course yesterday and today get a free 30-minute session with me. So I'm really excited to be able to sit down with you, P, for 30 minutes and then just talk about your goals. You can use it in the very beginning, or you can hold it until you really, really, really need it. Those 30 minutes belong to you from now until the end of time. And I do have people who use them in 15-minute increments. So just keep that in mind. But I'm really excited. And P, you are going to love Tuesday's call. It is fire. Okay. It is fire. And so yeah, I'm excited for you to be there. So I'm really, really excited. Dre says, I've never worked as a nurse, but I understand the business side of it. Yeah. Oh, Elle, she said, only got 5 minutes. I love you, Elle, though. You know I love you. Abby says she needs to come to my office. If you never work, if you understand the business, I mean, like I said, I'll leave it up to you. It's a more expensive niche. Nurses are a little bit more finicky. They like to talk to other nurses. I can tell you that right now. It's a respect thing, all of those good things. So, I'm so excited for P. So excited. We had about 6 or 7 people sign up over the weekend that are brand new coming into our class on Tuesday. I am very, very, very excited about that. Like super excited about the newbies. If you are on this call and you've already taken my course and you know what it looks like, put some information in the box for all the people who have not took the course so that they know that the course really is a great course and that you'll be in a great space. That would be great. All right. I think I answered a lot of questions. I gave away a lot of gems. I did not mean to do all of that today. I actually thought I was just going to come in and just see what y'all was doing and then just check in on y'all. But I don't mind. I actually, if you all are going to take the time to actually go in and really understand how to really grow your business the right way, then this is the Staffingpreneur Setup course is a great course to get into. I teach you how to set the business up. Once you set the business up, then I show you how to run the business as an owner. I show you how to run the business as an employee on the staffing, on the recruiting and sales side. And then once you make your first placement and you get your check, you roll over into my Run It course. My Run It course is fire. Only people who can go into that course are the people who are making money. And that's probably one of my favorite courses because I love my setup course and my scale up course the most. My Run It course, people, this is where you define whether or not you really got some skin in the game. And some people stay through it, stick it out, and some people don't. But when we start talking about my scale up course, these people are on their hustle and grind. That means they've had the idea and they've taken this idea and they have said, hey, I'm going to actually execute this thing. I am going to execute it. And they did it. And now they're actually making money. And many of them that are in the scale up class, because I saw that they were willing to sacrifice and do all the things that they need to do to actually bring the business to life. When I get big contracts and different things come my way, I am quick to say, hey guys, y'all want to come in on this? Hey guys, you want to do this? Something similar is happening right now where 10 of my staffingpreneurs are going to have an opportunity to become millionaires in 2 or 3 months, to create massive impact in 2 or 3 months, because they've already shown me that they can actually go out and execute. That's a big freaking deal. So it's great to have an idea. Can you graduate to taking that idea to actually setting up your business? That's a big feat. It's great to set up your business, but can you take that business setup and actually go in and start running and working in the business? That's a big feat. It's a big deal to go in and actually start running the business, but can you actually get somebody to sign the dotted line and make the placements and actually run the business and sustain it? That is the biggest feat. And then can you scale it? And if you can do those things, you're headed onto your way. I'm going to tell you, entrepreneurship is not for everyone. People get excited and they say, you know what, D, I want to become an entrepreneur because I hate my boss, or I want to become an entrepreneur because I don't feel valued. That is not a reason that you become an entrepreneur, because it takes a different level. It's a different version of you. Being a CEO requires a different version of you. It can't be the same version of you who was an employee. You can't expect to be the same employee version now running a multi-million-dollar company or a multi-billion-dollar company. No, it's going to require you to actually physically level up in thought, level up in your body, level up in your energy, level up in your dialect, level up in your habits, level up in your strategic thought. It requires you to level up. And if you're not ready to level up, then you might want to take your time on becoming an entrepreneur, because it's going to require a different version of you. Okay. I don't have any 10-minute phone calls. Okay. That's not possible. I think I might have a 15-minute one though, but I don't even like to do those. It's nothing that I can give you for 10 or 15 minutes that, I mean, as you can see, this call has been an hour. So those 15-minute calls are typically for people who have one really quick question. But if you are looking to get some value out of me, you would probably want to schedule at a minimum a 1-hour call. And we do have the 1-hour calls on sale as well this week. Okay. So you can do that. Okay. Last 2 questions. I bought the setup course about 2 weeks ago. Does it come with a 30-minute session with you, or is that only if you purchase this weekend? That's only if you purchase this weekend. I'm sorry, Pudding Pie. Or do I need to purchase separately? You got to purchase separately. If not, that's fine. Your pricing is great to me. Let me know. So yes, so that was just this weekend. Like so many things are happening in the economy. The jobs are coming back. I don't even like putting on sales, but the jobs are coming back massively. And I mean fast. And I tried to get people last year to get in on the bandwagon because I'm like, hey, the jobs are going to see when you lay off 22 million people or you lose 22 million jobs are gone. 22 million jobs have to come back. Who's going to fill those roles? Should it be you? Because I think it should be you. So I put on the sale this weekend because I am doing the strong push to get people to get your business set up now. There's no way the current landscape of agencies can even fill 22 million positions. We need your help. The economy needs your help. Okay. So that's why. There you go. The data jobs, all jobs are returning. Every job on the planet, except for the ones that are being taken over by AI, are coming back. So you have the ability to cash in. I say that in a positive way in 2 ways. Financially and through impact. And if you are passionate about impacting people and you're passionate about making money, you should be purchasing that setup class so that you in 7 weeks or 2 months or 3 months can feel the benefit or let me say it differently, so that you can make impact financially, so that you can make impact through your community. Why be the person a year from now saying, man, I should have did that last year. Now look at how all these people are winning. Why do you want to wait for that? It doesn't make sense to wait for that when you can actually invest in yourself right now and actually win now. Why not win now? Okay. Why not win now? All right. I've said just a couple more questions. So D, I have experience as a PM, educator, part-time college professor, and health admin. Which one of these should I build on? I'm driven and I know I want to do this. I can tell you that the project manager is going to make the most money. And out of all 3 of those, there is definitely a space for educators right now, especially right now when we're in a virtual environment. But you have to look at the salaries. If you do education, are you doing K through 12 or are you doing higher learning? I would focus on higher learning before K through 12, but they're just because the salaries are different. And if I'm going to do the same level of work that I'm going to do in K through 12 that I would do with higher learning, I would rather get a larger return on my investment. Healthcare admin, I would say that's non-clinical. That would probably be my second choice, but I don't know if I would necessarily place healthcare admins. I would find something in or around that that is in demand and that's lucrative at the same time to focus on. So I hope, okay. So hi, I hope that helps, Dre. Hi, I'm in the setup course and this is by far the best money I've spent for my business. Thank you for that. I love that. I had a mentorship with another coach and did not get 1/4 of what this course indeed gives. And the Tuesday calls are fire. I can't even see the name, but thank you for that love. Thank you so much. I keep putting my heart and soul into this course. I add almost every week. So I am very, very thankful to be able to be on this journey with you all. You all are freaking phenomenal. And the lives that I've changed, it just warms my heart. So I love it. Thank you so much. Thanks, Jeffrey. I appreciate you. How often do you do these live sessions on Facebook? I want to prepare my. Oh, listen, I am so impromptu. I have so many things going on. I am in my head in hiring. I'm hiring for Reskillify, which if you all don't know, I own that tech platform. And so we're building out, we're moving into new offices. We have a whole new, hey, Chastity, that's my poo. We have a whole new office, 2 new offices we're building out for Reskillify. We're getting a brand new facelift for the business. I'm hiring for my client in Chicago. I have a done for you client where I'm building out their staffing business. So I'm hiring a team of 7 right now. So I've got that going on. It's really kind of on a fly for me when I feel like your energy and I think you all need me. And today I was so fired up. I just had clients I had staffingpreneurs here in the office today. Then I went on a call with another set of staffingpreneurs who was about to kill it in their business. And then I'm exhausted. I was on my way home and I literally was just like, I'm just going to stop in and say hi to y'all and see what y'all are doing. I also wanted everybody to know that sale is going on in the event that you wanted to catch it, because after Tuesday, it's going to go back up to $997. So I really want you to catch it while it's affordable. I don't want you to have any excuse as to why you are not getting the setup course, okay? Like no excuses. All right. This is my Chastity. I know, Chastity. I don't know why they don't say your name because you're one of my favorite people. I love Chastity. She's awesome. I love Miss Vita too. She looks good. Vita, you look amazing. I hope Max is doing great and the grandbaby and the son. Yes, I do know my clients' families just a little bit. Last question, last comment. I've been an entrepreneur for many years, but in different fields. I am an African. I need huge help with my accent before taking any course with you. I'd like to have a phone call first. So that's interesting. I've got a client in South Africa, or she's not in South Africa. She is in maybe North Africa or East Africa. I don't know. She's in Africa. But when I first met her, she also has a very thick dialect. But not only does she have a thick dialect, she actually wasn't computer literate. So she actually she didn't know how to really use the computer. And we spent our first couple of sessions solely focusing on working on the things that she was most uncomfortable with. So just kind of, just really just the things that she was uncomfortable with. And then we worked on those things throughout our relationship. Now, she was my one-on-one client. She invested in that particular program. But yeah, I would definitely say that I don't do a lot of phone calls these days because my schedule is like really crazy. If you catch me and I answer the phone, cool. If not, really these days we work solely virtually. You've got to email us or you've got to send us a message on the chat box, unless you're trying to get like one of our high-end programs like the 25K program or the $1 million program. Then we would definitely talk to you because we want to make sure that you are the type of individual that we want to work with, right? And so we don't take on everyone who calls in, but I'm not in a position the way I used to be to just be on, to just take 1 million phone calls. And my support team is virtual. So mostly everything is done via email or via chat. So send us a chat message, send us an email message, and I promise we'll answer, or you can try your bet by using the phone and see if somebody answers the phone. I love you, Pooh. I'm based here in New York, New Jersey. Yes, we are. Thanks for yes, the kids are absolutely amazing, driving me crazy in every way you can possibly think. So yes, I love it. All right, awesome. All right, guys, I absolutely love y'all. This was a lot of fun. I'm talking about a lot of fun. And I will come back in a couple of weeks. I travel a lot, so I thought maybe I would go in and go live when I travel a little bit more. I also think I'm going to go and start playing with my TikTok when we do the move. I think I'm going to show the move on my TikTok or maybe on my IG. So I hope you all are following me on IG and TikTok because we're going to start showing how we're building out Reskillify. You'll also see me talk a little bit about how I build out my clients' staffing business. I have an agreement, so I can't do too much, but I can let y'all kind of see some of the ins and outs, you know what I'm saying, of the staffing business. So we'll do a couple of more things as my team starts to come back into the office, because we are going to start coming back into the office soon. All right. So I love y'all. Thank you, Chastity. I love y'all. I'm hanging out. I'm going to sleep now, take a nap, and get up in the morning. I'll shoot an email out first thing in the morning. We only have about 48 hours left on the sale. And listen, if you're getting a PPE loan, if you're getting a refund, if you are getting a stimulus check, take the time to invest it back into yourself, where you can take that money, invest it, and let it turn into some legacy, right? Don't spend it on nothing crazy. Like, invest it in something that your future self will thank you for. And I promise you, if you do that, like, yeah, you'll really love yourself. So I love y'all. Y'all stay fired up. Stay fired up. Stay fired up. I believe in you. I know you can do it. Y'all have an amazing night. Thank you for hanging out with me. I appreciate it. Like this video, thumbs up, subscribe, all that great stuff. I love y'all. Bye.